All right, hello and welcome from the Ice Ranch for Regis Jesuit Raiders taking on the Valor Christian Eagles, another edition of the Holy War. My name is Liam Waters. Alongside me, Tom Mahalik. How you doing?
Doing great, Liam. Great to be here, bud. Looking forward to it.
For the Raiders, the Valor Christian Eagles are 7-2-1 this season. Raiders now 6-3-1, coming off of that game against Chaparral, or I should say period and a half of hockey last night. That was something interesting.
The strangest Chassa game I've ever been associated with. To have a blackout, cancellation, and reschedule to pick up partway through.
Drawn out probably a little bit longer than most games, but that was a fun one. I was telling one of my friends, probably one of the most interesting and fast-paced periods of Regis hockey I've ever watched. I mean, just bodies flying everywhere. Some fun hockey. So a couple notable guys out there. Bo Payton, 13 points, leads the team. 8 goals, also leads the team this season. And Raiders under the leadership of Alex Warrott, who has 6 assists, leads the team in that category. And before we get to Valor, our sponsor, Bacchus Family Broadcast, brought to you as always by the Shaw Hockey Productions, and thank you to the Bacchus family. Shaw Hockey Productions, huge for us, right? I mean, you and I have both been around here for a long time. I've seen many angles of it, obviously been on the ice. I've been, behind the camera also, and on the mic, and I mean, Shaw Hockey Productions has been pretty fun for us, and with so many fans able to watch the games from home.
I mean, it's just created a whole nother level to your access to high school hockey, access to the players and family members, and more importantly, from our perspective, it gives us the ability to sit, watch, comment, give the flow of the game, talk about players, really focus in on the hockey because of what a brilliant job they do behind the camera here at Shaw. And it wouldn't happen again without all the sponsorship that comes down, all the support Regis Hockey has. And from today, thank you to the Bacchus family, because none of this happens without their support for the team and for the program.
And you'd be surprised, you mentioned players, right? And I mean, I played for Regis, and I still go back sometimes and watch my old games, and I know these guys are doing it after every game. They're watching the whole team play. The coaches love the video review. It's a great thing. So, want to tell us about our lineup today?
So, Raiders coming in a little nicked up on the Raider front, and I think all teams face that at some point during the year. Regis, unfortunately, of late has had a few struggles. Not in the lineup today. Evan Mahalik still nursing an injury. Anders Dierenden, I sure hope Anders bounces back soon. We miss him on the ice. And then recent loss of Liam Robinson, Charlie Grawl, both to arm injuries that is really tough on the team as far as how do you adapt when you lose players like that. But what it creates for Coach Ott is the need to adapt his lineup up and down. And today what he's got starting up front, he's got Dylan Nash centering Bo Payton and Charlie Brown. So Charlie Brown jumping up on that line. And luckily, Will Farber back in the lineup for the Raiders.
Great news.
After being back in the lineup in Dallas and now playing again here today. He'll be centered by Alex Warrott with his running mate out Andrew Brennick on the far side. And then Alex Stolino is going to center up Pierce Brenner and Pearson Wiedemeyer, with Barrett Hatcher coming in as the 10th forward, and I'm sure he'll be rotating through the lineup pretty quickly. On the back end, Terry's got 7D. He's got Sam Wessel and Cedar Regan opening things up, with Ben Clennert partnering up with Liam Lynch, and then Jeremy Kornmesher and Matthew Bacchus with River Nolan in as the 7th D-man today. And in net, of course, Easton Sparks and Mark Brousseau are 2 fantastic netminders. I think Easton's in the pipes today, but I don't know that for sure.
That's my guess. We'll see. Obviously, we don't know quite yet who's starting in net for Valor, but just a note on that Raiders lineup, Dylan Nash, another one I forgot to mention in that Shap game yesterday. Only goal scorer in that game that was drawn out about a week, and what a beautiful shot that was. Hero in overtime, Dylan Nash.
Yeah, beautiful setup from Bo Payton. You talk about the passing abilities and the assist that Alex Warrott's delivered during the course of the year, but that one was a big one coming off the stick of Bo Payton as he looks off the goalie and centers one up for the one-timer from Dylan Nash right in the shooting zone, buries it in the top corner, and Raiders skate away with a 1-0 win.
And finally, a couple of notable Eagles players as we head to the starting lineups here. Maddox Charles, number 23, 20 points this season. And Hoyt Sorensen with 8 goals. A couple of numbers those guys will want to be looking out for. So we'll get to starting lineups and national anthems here before puck drops.
all teams, first will announce the starting lineup for the visiting Eagles from Valor Christian High School. Defenseman number 7, Jackson O'Donnell.
Jackson O'Donnell starting on D for Valor. Along with number 16, James Stanley. Dawson Charles, another player to look out for. Maddox Charles. And Gabriel Fisher. And Lucas Jordan starting in between the pipes.
And now starting lineup for your Regis Jesuit Raiders. At forward, number 3, William Farber.
So that second line is going to start with Will Farber.
On the bench, number 8, Cedar Reagan.
On D, Cedar Reagan.
Forward, number 9, Andrew Brennick.
Andrew Brennick, number 9.
Center, number 25, Sam Wessel.
Sam Wessel on D, number 25.
Forward, 29, Alex Moreau.
And Alex Warrott, the captain.
Easton Sparks.
There we go, Easton Sparks in between the pipes.
Raiders are coached by Mr. Terry Ott. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand. Join us in prayer, followed by the playing of our national anthem. Loving God, we thank you for bringing us together today in the spirit of competition and community. Bless these student athletes, coaches, officials, and all who support them. Grant safety from injury, clarity of mind, and respect for one another. May this game be played with integrity, sportsmanship, and joy. And may all who compete do so in a way that reflects the best of who they are and who they are becoming. In your name we pray, amen.
Tom, I don't know if I can think of a better matchup in high school hockey, at least in Colorado. What do you think?
Well, one thing that I was talking about earlier on with Will Sparks when we got here was every game between Regis and Valor, I mean, is such a hotly contested battle. And so many times in the years I've been associated with Regis, it's more than often than not a one-goal game.
Right.
And it really comes down to maybe it's the one mistake, maybe it's the one exceptional play, maybe it's the goalie standout that you get for that game. But it's always so tightly contested, almost always goes into that third period. And I think you're right, because these games are so close so frequently, it creates such an atmosphere for high school hockey here. I don't think I'd pick a different game either.
And that was going to be my next question, too. What kind of game are you expecting here? And yeah, there's usually only 1 or 2 goals scored in the game, so we'll see what it holds here. Easton Sparks starting on the right side, Lucas Jordan on the left. Warrott line starting the game off for the Raiders. Up against Carson Deep. And we are underway here at the Ice Ranch, and already we have a whistle. Face-off not done properly. We'll try it again. Warrott and Deep, eye to eye once more. Valor wins the face-off back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell over to Charles. He'll dump it deep. Regan chasing after it, along with Maddox Charles' brother, Dawson. Puck comes over the boards, and Stanley able to keep it in, but now it comes to the stick of Warot. Raiders trying to get it out, gets over the blue line off the stick of Dawson Charles, and now Maddox has it. He'll circle back. Up ice he comes. Tries to get the red line, dump it deep, but a good defensive play there by Will Farber. Raiders getting their first line change in as Brennick is in on the forecheck. O'Donnell still out there as he drops it back for Stanley. Valor still with their starting guys on the ice as Dawson Charles comes up ice. Charles in, played nicely defensively there by Kornmesser. Charles able to get a shot and an easy stop by Sparks.
Need to stay disciplined in our defensive lanes. With the quickness you have both from the Charles boys amongst others, it's going to be important here early on to stay disciplined.
Jackson Ting had it there, and Valor trying to exit their own zone, but Nash able to get the puck and dump it deep. And here comes Valor trying to start their breakout. Kornmesser gets it deep again. You're going to see a lot of that today, Tom. Lots of dump and chase.
It's always looking for that opening.
A shot was stopped there by a stick. Sorry, Tom. Here comes Valor coming the other way. Left side there. A shot coming. A stick save there by Sparks.
That was Hoyt Sorensen, of course.
Another player for the Raiders to look out for. An assist man there, Sorensen. In the corner there is Baker. Picked off nicely by Payton. Bo Payton coming the other way. Brown goes to the bench, and Payton will do the same. Raiders getting all 5 guys onto the bench. Line change for the Raiders. As Coffey comes get the blue line, trying to send it down off the stick. So no icing. Comes to Brenner, trying to center for Wiedenmeyer. Wiedenmeyer's pass goes off a leg, but it comes to Stelino, and there'll be a stoppage in play.
Might have been a hand pass there. It's going to come back down, but I like the puck support you're seeing from the Raiders so far. Pucks through the neutral zone there. That was good puck support from Stelino coming up and getting that bounce. And I like getting pucks deep. Now we just got to get a forecheck, get our feet moving, and get after it. Create some chances down in the offensive end.
14:42 left in the first period. Double O's. Face off. Put back into the corner. And here come the Raiders. Pierce Brenner has it. Brenner neutral ice. Sends it down. He'll chase after it. Coffey gets to the puck first in a battle with it. And out comes Sutter. He'll send it down. Lynch picks it up in the defensive zone for the Raiders. Bounces off the boards. May have gone up the skate of the referee. Bounced weirdly off the boards, but out it comes to Wiedenmeyer, who puts it off the glass. Valor trying to take control of the puck as they bring it back to their own zone. Coffey with it. It's going to circle behind his own net. Up to Bodine, trying to push it forward. Back to Coffey again. Coffey over to M, who puts it on the near boards, and that'll be offside on the Eagles.
I like the Raiders challenging at the blue line. Our D has been uptight, playing bodies through the neutral zone and on the blue, trying to keep things in. And I think I'd like to see a consistent, more physical performance by the Raiders like they did down in Dallas, playing a little bit more physical hockey.
Yeah.
Make it uncomfortable for Valor.
And they certainly put an exclamation point on that last night. Lots of physical play in that third period in overtime against Chaparral. Puck comes up to Farber, who's back in the lineup this afternoon. Brennick sending it down. He has it. Good chase by Andrew Brennick, but James Stanley fishing for the puck there as it comes to Sam Wessel. Carson Deep trying to find it, but there goes Alex Warot. Hard pressure there. Comes out to Deep. Deep and Tarbert there. Carson Deep with a shot. Stopped there aggressively by Easton Sparks. Warot trying to center for Farber. Warot, Brennick, and Farber, the forwards out there for the Raiders. They'll look to get a change. As Wessel comes back to get it, he's looking to stretch the ice, but picked off nicely there by Charles. Warot, at the end of his shift, gets hit hard there by Gogol. Here's a chance for Charles, a shot, and it is stopped by the stick. of Easton Sparks. 12:33 left to go in the first period.
Sparks read that well. He saw Charles sliding out on the forehand, so he gets out high on his crease there and just cuts the angle down and shrugs that one off the shoulder, I think. He gets it up in the netting out of play. But Easton know these guys well, and he knows their tells or their tendencies, so he'll be keeping an eye out on Charles for sure throughout this one.
Face off back to Matthew Backus, whose family is sponsoring this game. Thank you guys again. Maddox Charles and Carson Deep battling for it. Sorry, that's Gabe Fisher, number 27 out there. Whoa. That puck stays in play. Almost gave us a haircut, though. Charlie Brown battling for the puck, trying to work it back to the point. Didn't quite find Kornmesser or Peyton, the two open guys. But now here's Peyton building up speed, trying to feed Brown. That just goes a bit ahead of him. Coffee back for it. Up to Maddox Charles, off the glass. Kornmesser back checking. Here's Dawson Charles. He puts it on, sticked aside by Easton Sparks. Backus trying to work it ahead, but it comes to Coffee. At the red line, he'll dump it back into the Raiders zone. Sparks out to play at the Kornmesser, trying to go D-to-D over to Backus. It comes to Joseph Baker, who sends it down low, trying to feed it in front.
Great stick
up to
by
Sorensen,
Kornmesser.
but that was a good stick by Jeremy Kornmesser.
Guys
Trying to feed it in front again. Boys got to watch out here. Baker with it. Trying to send it back to the point, but it wasn't quite there.
That's the discipline we're looking for. Can't be puck watching and realizing guys are going to come in alone.
There was a chance in front for Hoyt. Sorensen, just lost the handle. Raiders working to box out the Eagles as it comes to Backus, who will send it all the way down. That might be icing. And it is.
Taking intentional icing there, just get a change. Got a little hemmed in. Some of that just created by passes that are just missing the tapes. And we got to clean that up a little bit. Want to be tape to tape here. That's where you're going to create your better outlets. You want to make sure that we're breaking out, that we're able to get through that neutral zone cleanly. And turnovers is the bread and butter of this Valor squad. They'll make you pay if you give them those opportunities.
Ben Purchase wins the faceoff back to Julian M with a shot that was stopped by Sparks. Here come the Raiders the other way. Pearson Wiedenmeyer drops it back. Good zone entry by the Raiders. Here's a shot, and that goes off of the skate of Julian M. That shot came from, I believe, Pierce Brenner. As Valor sends it all the way down, and that's no icing. May have gone off of a Raiders stick or something. I'm not sure. Liam Lynch works it up nicely to Brenner. Brenner trying to find Stelino.
Nice
Stelino, good battle.
Stelino.
He's pushed down to the ice there by Coffee. Comes over to O'Connell. Waiting. Forechecked on nicely by Brenner. Brenner, Stelino, and Wiedemeyer still battling out there with 10-10 to go in the first period. Out it comes for Sutter. Sutter working it up to Bodine. Sutter and Bodine. Sutter to Bodine.
Good back check by Brenner there.
Yes, great back check by Pierce Brenner in the corner as he tries to get it out. Sutter has it again. Turned over to Wiedemeyer, and Raiders send it out. That'll be icing on the Raiders.
Yeah, I got to be careful there. So that's where River Nolan kind of jumped up. He wanted to get in the neutral zone, wanted to try to jump that puck. And then the tap pass, the next thing you know, you got a man getting behind the D and odd man rush opportunity, but luckily sniffed out there by the Raiders D, and a good hard back check from Brenner just makes it uncomfortable for the Valor forwards.
And that's something else Raiders are going to want to watch out for here is just that Valor speed. A couple of times they've had that zone entry. They've tried to beat the D with their speed around the outside, so something for the Raiders to look out for. Need to work on that back check as it comes to O'Donnell.
Nice breakout there from the Raiders. Didn't materialize into much, but just well played through the neutral zone there by Brennick and Farber.
Valor trying to get their breakout going as it comes to deep. He'll send it down to the Raiders' number 25, Sam Wessel. Stanley waiting for Tarbert to touch up.
Whistle offside.
9 minutes, 11 seconds left in the first period. Valor sends out their line with Gabe Fisher centering. Face-off won back by Warrott. Puck up to Will Farber. Farber gets the red line and the blue line. Onside play. Puck picked off there by Gogol. and it comes back to River Nowlin, excuse me, that is Cedar Regan for the Raiders. Back to Gogol at the point, left side Coffee with a shot. That was blocked in front by Wessel. Yeah, Wessel, Sam Wessel with a good block there. Gabe Fisher over to Charles. Back up top for Jackson King. Back down low for Fisher. Had Charles in front. Fisher working on the outside to the slot with a shot, scores! Dawson Charles breaks the ice. Valor up 1-0.
He gets open just enough, and he gets that shot off quick, but up in the high slot, he just drifts. You see him drift off that circle, and it just comes open. He gets it quickly, backhand, forehand, and just maybe a little off his spot there for Sparks, but just beats him on the blocker side.
Boy, they had that look in the slot a couple of times in front of the net. Something for the Raiders to look out there for there a little bit. Those passes in front of the net, right?
Charles from Fisher at 28.
So Maddox Charles scores that one, or was that Dawson Charles? Dawson Charles scores from Gabe Fisher. I think his brother may have had the other assist. Here come the Raiders with speed. Dylan Nash, who had the overtime winner. A shot goes wide by Peyton.
So close.
And here comes Hoyt Sorensen the other way with a lot of speed. Defended nicely by Matthew Backus as they go to battle in the corner. Matthew Backus pushed hard from behind, no call. Still battling for it as Dylan Nash is in there as well. Puck over to the far corner. Kornmesser going after it with Baker. As the Raiders try to exit their zone, it comes to Nash off a nice pass from Brown. Nash trying to feed it to Peyton. Peyton, who has been hot this season, trying to send it back to the point, but turned over to Valor, and they'll come the other way. Hoyt Sorensen, wow, is he fast.
And you'll see that checks are being finished, and maybe, like you said, a couple of little shots in the back, little cross checks. I don't think, unless they're egregious, I don't see this reffing crew, calling much. They're going to let those things go.
Puck comes to Liam Lynch. Sending it all the way out. Valor regrouping again. M will send it all the way down. Lynch catches an edge behind the net. Here's another chance in front. What a save by Easton Sparks, robbing Benjamin Purchase.
That's flash in the leather as that glove came out, swallowed up what looked like a sure goal. Watch this replay here.
All alone in front.
Again, defensive discipline, but that one jumped out high, got out to the top of the crease, gets that glove right on top of him. Beautiful save from Easton Sparks to keep it 1-0.
Best look of the afternoon so far for Sparks as Valor wins the faceoff again. Coffee puts it in the skates of Regan. Puck comes out. Coffee after it. Puck bouncing, comes back to M, the captain of the Valor Christian Eagles. Bouncing puck to Wessel, who will send it deep. Coffee, who's had a lot of touches so far in this game. Out to Stelino, who will send it down to Brenner. Brenner trying to find Hatcher, who's getting a look on this line. It comes out to Deep, who has speed, cutting to the middle. A shot on by Caden Tarber, but that looked like it went off the side of the net. Out to Wessel, trying to put it off the boards. Intending to find Brenner, but pass wasn't quite there, icing Raiders.
Well, the Raiders definitely chasing a little bit in their own end there, and I think without much offensive push in this past game, it was a real tight one again, where we just didn't see much goal scoring or offensive chances against Shap, and now here we are just looking to get some offensive go. I mean, I think we just got to get pucks to the net, simplify, and just get pucks on net.
Backus sends it down. Will it be icing? No, went off the stick of, that's Jackson King with the puck for the Eagles. Off the glass and out comes the Kornmesser, being pressured hard there by Charles. Out it comes to Backus, who sends it all the way around. Jordan out to play it. Jordan, who hasn't had a lot of looks so far. Raiders looking to get some shots on him, but it comes the other way. Maddox Charles looking, a shot in front, bouncing, and a shot, and they score! That's Gabriel Fisher off the rebound, and it's 2-0.
Easton had that one just come off the glove. He thought he had it scooped up, and then he was going to swing it in. Stick comes in, knocks it free, and on the doorstep is the quick to react by Gabriel Fisher. Now we've got a 2-0 ball game. So Raiders just need to regroup, settle down, get into their flow, get some offensive zone pressure. Right now, we've been on our heels. They've been pushing the course of the play. We need to get some pucks in the offensive zone, get some shots towards the net.
See how they can respond here. O'Donnell, D-to-D, Stanley trying to work it up to Sorensen, but defended by Brown. Puck in deep. Nowlin first to it, D-to-D over to Lynch. Comes to Stanley, who will send it deep on net. Lynch up ice, and that's going to be icing again on the Raiders.
Yeah, just a disconnect there on the outlet pass. I like the stretch look, but with that play up the boards, that man's got to be all the way out to the edge. Icing's going to put us right back on the defensive zone faceoff here for the Raiders. 5:03 of the first period, trailing 2-0.
Ben Purchase and Dylan Nash will go head-to-head here. Nash wins the faceoff. It comes back to Lynch, up to Nash, battling for it on the far boards. Coffey sending it up, but intercepted by Nowlin. Brown sending it deep, and Nash forechecking hard there. Bodane to Purchase, picked off by Nash. Down low to Payton, but he's shoved off the puck by Bodane. Bouncing puck for Lynch. Sends it up to Nash. Nash for Brown, but turned over to Valor, and here they come the other way. Sutter at center ice, protecting the puck, defended by Nowlin. Both teams contested for the puck here as Nash goes all the way down past the goal line. A bounce in front. Nothing doing there as Brenner was looking for it in front. Wessel with a great step up on the blue line. He sends it up to Brenner, who had a look. There's a deflection in front by Wiedenmeyer off the shot from Wessel.
Tough to keep that one low, but I love the deflection.
Yeah.
Just up over the bar.
Sutter with a shot that goes wide, and he'll head to the bench. Regan played it, but it was turned over to Caden Tarbert. Wiedenmeyer trying to stretch for Stelino. That goes off his stick, and it will be icing once again on the Raiders.
3:29 here in the first. Trailing 2-0. The Raiders obviously know the next goal they have to have. And
you'd like to see it before the end of the first, maybe.
A little bit better offensive push, trying to get some pucks deep. I like the little play from the point, high to low, and then off the stick of Wiedenmeyer. A little more of that, and a little bit more challenge for Jordan, who really hasn't faced anything so far.
Will Farber puts it on net, stick to side by Jordan.
And that's a wrist shot you want to get off as often as possible. Will Farber can unload the puck in a hurry. He just snaps that little wrister there and forces Jordan to play that one up in the screen and out of play.
He's been one of my favorite players to watch this season. He's got such a good shot. He's a smart defensive player. He's everything you could want for a player on your team, right?
Yep.
Sending it out, Backus able to get a stick on that in the neutral zone, and Brennick sends it down. Raiders on a delayed offside right now.
Oh, he
whistle blown.
I thought we had that touched up.
Looked
Farber
like
hustled out. I thought he waited on that. I'm not so sure I agree with the offsides, but face-off comes out of the zone regardless.
Zebras have the final call. We're all digging in on that face-off. Jimenez sends it deep. Backus trying to go D-to-D, but no one there. Pass intercepted by Kornmesser, but again intercepted by Charles, or sorry, that's Carson Deep.
Got to be so careful with those. You have a man down deep, turn one over inside your blue line. That's trouble going the other way.
Farber entered the zone with speed, put it in the corner for Warrott. 3-on-1 there as Brennick goes in to help out. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Lynch gets that puck that was wheeled around off the wall. Brennick and Warrott still battling in that corner. It comes to Coffey. That's King. Sends it off the, I think that went off of the brick wall.
Yeah, I think that got out and back in a hurry.
So 2 minutes and 14 seconds to go. 2-0 Eagles. First period.
Raiders probably only with a couple of shots on goal so far in this period. They just need to get pucks to the net. This is going to be something that they're going to have to try and challenge Jordan and look for rebounds. There's an opportunity.
And they haven't had many offensive zone faceoffs either, so take advantage here if you're the Raiders. Peyton trying to work it back to the point. It goes off of a Valor skate and all the way down. Lynch gets to it first. Lynch out there with Ben Kleinert on D as Dawson Charles is battling with Liam Lynch. Comes to a chance in front there, stopped there by Sparks. Fisher looking for his second of the game.
It's good work out of the corner there by Maddox Charles, finding Fisher cutting to the net.
Puck comes to Dawson Charles. That's a hand pass, it looks like.
That should come all the way down.
Boy, it gets a little confusing having a couple brothers playing on the same line out there.
A little connection between those two. I'm sure they are enjoying this one this year.
Gotta imagine, I don't really know their history, but I gotta assume, I don't know, do you know what age year both those guys are?
Maddox, I think, is a senior.
Okay. So Dawson's the younger.
And Dawson's the younger of the two.
Well, I wonder how much they played together in their youth, right? I mean,
right.
That could have been, this could be some chemistry that goes all the way back, right? O'Donnell has it. He'll send it up to Bevan. Puck loose. Regan getting to it first. Backhands it up the boards for Brown. But Bevan has it now for Valor. Here's a chance in front. A save made by Sparks.
That could have been a penalty on
chance
Cedar.
For Baker. Raiders might have gotten away with one there. Here's Brown with a shot. That goes over the net. Set up nicely by Peyton.
Really good work by Bo down there, and to get that pass off, Charlie just couldn't get that one low enough.
We have under a minute to go in the first period. Near boards, the boys are fighting for the puck. It comes out to O'Donnell. The defenseman sends it off the boards. Here's a chance for Sorensen. Sorensen feeding in front, and they score.
Jumping up in the play.
That's Stanley. James Stanley, the defenseman, getting that one.
And that's when you have a defenseman activate like that, forwards back checking. Well, that man should not be coming down Main Street alone, but good heads-up play by Sorensen. He sees him. He drives the net. Raiders not back to cover. That's an easy finish. And that late period goal to stretch it to 3-0 as the Raiders have a big hole now to climb out of.
And you wonder why Hoyt Sorensen leads the team in assists. That was a nice feed there from him. 3-0 Eagles with 30 seconds to go here in the first period. How will the Raiders respond? Wiedemeyer trying to feed it over to Backus, but Bauer Bodine there to stop that one. Here's Brenner on the right side, trying to cut to the middle. Stolino has it, he puts it on. Testing Jordan. Comes out to Sutter, center ice with 5 seconds to go in the period. Raiders clear that one out. And that, after one more shot, is going to do it for the first period. We, I believe, will go to intermission as the ZAM doors look to be opening.
The Raiders, if they head to the locker rooms, opportunity to start talking about what do you do to turn the tide on this 3-0 first period deficit. It was all Eagles in that first period, and the Raiders can regroup here. And we'll be back shortly.
And we'll see you all in 10-15 minutes for some more hockey. All right, we return to play here in a moment. Let's look at our coaching matchup here. So on the Valor side of things, excuse me, George Gwozdecki up against Coach Terry Ott and assistant coach Nick Miller on the home bench. No Alan Waters on the bench today, as he is at home with the family. So
missing you, Alan.
Yeah, shout out to the family at home, the mom and dad and the grandma too, who I know is excited to watch and listen to this. So shout out to the family.
Little recap there from the first period for anyone that happened to join us late. Yeah. Raiders with a 3-goal deficit, courtesy of Dawson Charles with the first one there from the high slot, followed up by a nice rebound poke home from Gabriel Fisher off the stick of Maddox Charles there. And then James Stanley and the 2-on-1 gets a nice feed from Hoyt Sorensen late in that period. And the Raiders find themselves down 3-0 to the attack of the Valor Eagles. So big hill to climb here starting the second period. And Raiders will come to the dot ready to go.
Same 2 starting lines for the forwards for each team. Cedar Regan has it and sends it deep after Valor won that initial faceoff. Puck comes to Stanley as Warrott makes a big hit on him. Here's a potential chance in for Charles. That's offside, but he gets a shot off anyway, and that goes out of play.
Jumped the line, a little late whistle there from the linesman, but Maddox Charles just a step early there.
Are we good on the broadcast? We're not getting just making sure we're getting our, oh, here we go, our replays. So that killed 26 seconds of the first period so far.
And face-off in the zone, does that mean he wasn't offside?
I heard a whistle.
Oh, no, it just went out of play. I don't know.
I thought I heard a whistle for the offside, but I guess not. Wessel battling for the puck in the corner. It comes out to the defense. O'Donnell makes a move around Farber. That's a shot stopped by Sparks, and here come the Raiders the other way. It's Brennick sending it on net, gloved by Jordan, and he'll get a whistle. Probably didn't need to get a whistle there, but Raiders will take the offensive zone faceoff.
I think that's Warrott driving the net there, and Jordan being cautious, not wanting to move the puck with a couple players coming in close. And to be honest with you, he hasn't been made uncomfortable yet with defensive zone faceoffs, the few he's faced. So he's more than happy to settle that puck.
The Raiders will take it, and I honestly don't blame Jordan. Lynch has the puck. He's pushed off of it, and it comes out to Bevan, but bouncy puck comes to Stanley. Stanley weaving in and out of play. He already has a goal. He shoots and he scores.
Wow, right up under the bar there.
James Stanley has his second of the game.
Weaving through the middle. Stanley just unmolested comes down the center, and unfortunate, as I think we caught an edge there as our D-man was in position, but catching an edge and going down, unfortunately, was Liam Lynch, and that left the middle open, and he gets back to the forehand and roofs that over the shoulder of Easton Sparks to make it 4-0 in favor of the Eagles.
So that hole that the Raiders need to dig themselves out of gets deeper and deeper as Valor wins another faceoff, and things get a little more intense here for the Raiders. Back in the Raiders' corner, Backus whacking at the puck. Bevan sends it down to Sorensen. Sorensen back to the point. King, D-to-D over the Gogol with the shot that is tipped in front and stopped by Sparks.
Easily held up. Easton gloves that up. No rebound given up there. Prior to that goal, too, there was a big, juicy rebound that came out front off of the pad of Sparks. A good low shot from the point, something that Valor has been doing well in this game, getting pucks through and to the net. Raiders not getting as many blocks or as many contested shots. And
face-off won there by Stellino. Stellino pushing it forward, taking it himself. He has Brenner on his right. Stellino doing all the work on his own. He brings it in, and he'll go on the forecheck as Gogol pushes it up to Bodine. Gogol sends that back D-to-D over to King. And now here come the Eagles the other way. Bodane tries to rip it, and it goes off the skate of Backus
nice
and wide of the
block by
net.
Backus.
Comes out to Sutter. Sutter shoots. Rebound. Skips past the skate of Purchase as Bodane tries to protect the puck in the corner.
Good job by Kornmesser there, just tying up Bodane.
Out to Sutter. Sutter with his own entry drops it for Purchase. Purchase over to Bodane, gets a shot on and an easy stop for Easton Sparks.
Right now, Valor's just skating downhill. I think they're just finding themselves pushing up in the play on the offensive zone. They're getting pucks to the net. The Raiders need to stem this tide, and I think their defensive structure needs to start picking up those extra men off the side. Those wings that are coming down. Got to stop puck watching. Got to start finding the bodies.
Deep had the puck momentarily, but it comes out to Farber. Puts it off the boards looking for Brennick, but it's a little too far for his reach. Brennick able to get a touch on it, but Valor still with it. Out it comes for Jimenez. Trying to cut to the middle. He has a chance and stopped there by Sparks as Jimenez tried to feed it in front to Charles. A tip there, another nice save by Easton Sparks. It comes out again, in with a shot. That goes off of the body in front. I believe that was Carson Deep blocking that. Obviously unintentionally. Out it comes to Deep. Valor regrouping as Farber delivers a big hit on him.
Hit from Farber.
Puck rung around the boards off the stick of Andrew Brennick. Kane Coffey puts it off the boards. Wessel sends it deep. Raiders touch up and get a change. Valor with room as they break out. Dawson Charles has it. Charles trying to cut to the middle, still has it. Walking through these guys right now. He puts a shot on and it goes off the pad of Sparks. And out come the Raiders the other way. Tip deep, Brown goes after it. Brown pushed off of the puck by O'Donnell. Comes out to Maddox Charles. Off a skate. Could have been a potential chance for Nash, but puck didn't bounce his way.
Should be icing.
And it will be.
Raiders see themselves in the offensive zone there for a bit of a flurry. Almost a couple of turnovers, and that's what they're going to have to do is start forcing turnovers, getting in the face of the D-men, and trying to get some pucks loose in that offensive end to get Jordan off his spot. Got to find the back of the net soon, get the Raiders turning that energy.
Raiders top line out there, but Valor wins the faceoff. King goes D to D. Valor looking to stretch the ice. Puck was touched, so no icing. Lynch has it, rings it up to Peyton, who makes that high flip out to Brown. Brown unable to handle it. King puts it off the glass in the Valor zone. It comes out to Peyton covering D. Lynch backhands it over to the near corner, deep in the Valor zone. Gogol has it, and he'll send it all the way out.
Ooh, interference call is going to be coming against Lynch.
Penalty on the Raiders. Liam Lynch is going to head to the box for interference.
We'll see. The head snapped back, so I don't know if he thought it was a high stick, but definitely the puck was away.
No replay on this one, but.
And interference is the call going against Liam Lynch out there at center ice. So,
first penalty of the game.
And the Raiders will find themselves shorthanded here at 12:22 of the second, as Valor looks to build on this 4-0 lead with a power play chance.
Raiders only have 2 players on the ice right now. You're allowed to have 4. So now you have 3, and now you have 4. Well,
Terry using his advantage for his last change to figure out what he wants out there.
And I like to think that Raiders shorthanded, that's been a strength this season. So let's see what they can do as Valor wins the faceoff. Maddox Charles works it down to Fisher. Right side, back up to the point, and
net came
we
off
have a whistle.
Moorings. Net's off. We'll get a whistle and a face-off right back down in the zone.
So Valor Christian power play unit, that is the Charles brothers with Hoyt Sorensen, Bauer Bodane, it looks like, and also Gabe Fisher, who will take the face-off. Now that we got that down, it comes back to Charles with a low shot. That was looking for a deflection in front from Fisher. As it comes back to the quarterback position, a shot, hard shot, and a low shot again coming from Fisher. Here's another one, not for that's Charles. Raiders looking to clear, but it comes back out to Maddox Charles with speed, working around the outside, cutting to the middle. Good defensive work there by the Raiders just to try to keep him from getting a look. Here's Sorensen on the left side.
Good block.
Back to Charles, a good block by Brennick. He'll send it the length of the ice, and good penalty kill work by the Raiders here so far. 1:10 to go in the Lynch interference call.
A couple of fresh forwards out as Peyton comes out along with Nash to kill here.
Eagles keep their same unit out as Maddox Charles drops it back for Bodine. Bodine with the shot that goes off of Peyton. Here's Charles trying to drop it. Unsuccessful drop pass, misses his brother. And Dawson Charles will regroup with Hoyt Sorensen. 40 seconds to go in the Lynch penalty. Good stick there by Dylan Nash, and he may have a chance here if he hustles. Good puck protection there from Dawson Charles. Eagles with the same guys out there still. Gabe Fisher down low. Sparks steals off the post, and the Raiders are able to clear it down as Jordan comes out to play the puck. 15 seconds to go here in the penalty. Here comes Maddox Charles again.
Relentless motor from Maddox Charles. He's probably had 4 straight rushes on the power play here where he quarterbacks so much, bringing it in the zone and then working the high umbrella. And they really do a good job down low, getting 2 players down low. So low shots, deflections, or finding the weak side post on that extra pass. I mean, they run a very disciplined power play. Raiders doing a great job killing this one off.
I mean, hey, we can talk about that. Just impressive endurance there from Charles that whole time. That was, what, 1 minute and 50 seconds of fast skating for most of that time. Some impressive work from him. Carson deep on the left side shoots. That puck looked like it may have gone out of play. I guess not. But either way, a blocker on it as Stelino loses his stick. The puck knocked his stick out of his hand. You don't see that too often. Stelino picks his stick up and heads to the corner to help out Barrett Hatcher battling down there with O'Donnell, Carson deep. And Stanley all in there. Still battling for the puck. A high backhand, tries to get it out of the zone, but Stelino gets a stick on this. Hatcher battling for it, but Stanley already has a goal in this game. He's looking for another.
Another lost stick there. Wessel dropping his twig.
Excuse me, Stanley already has 2 goals actually. He's looking for a hat trick. Here comes Backus. Over to the left side, Hatcher misses that, but Backus is down low. Thank you again to the Backus family for sponsoring this broadcast. Hatcher protecting the puck, sends it to Brenner and back to the point. Here's a shot that goes off the post. Backus had a little bit of net there, unable to get a full shot off.
Love to see Backus. He's just staying up in the offensive flow. D-man recognizing time to activate. We're down 4-0. Make something happen.
If Backus can get a shot or two, he's got a really nice wrister. Big hit there from Lynch is
should be icing.
He's out of the penalty box, and that will be icing on the Eagles.
Well, they get the penalty killed off, but right now the clock is not our friend. 8:36 here, the second period. Raiders desperate for a goal-scoring opportunity, but offensive zone face-off here for the Warrot line.
Warrot wins the face-off, and looks like they're asking for a trainer on the Valor bench.
Didn't see it. Was that from the hit down there at the other end?
Yeah, I don't know. Not sure what's going on, but even the Regis coaches were yelling for a stoppage in play there. Back to the action we go. Warrot wins the faceoff back to Kornmesser the same way he did before. He shoots, and it was blocked in front. Had lots of traffic. The Raiders are going to want to look for more of those opportunities.
And trying to find loose pucks. Good steal by Wiedemeyer.
Wiedemeyer down low to Warrott. Warrott misses the pass there as Kornmesser feeds it D to D over to Lynch. That puck goes out of play off of his stick.
That'll be a face-off inside the Raiders zone.
So one of the Valor players getting some attention from the trainer. Trying to see what number that is. That's either Stanley.
I think that's
or
Maxwell
Tarver.
Sutter.
Is that Sutter?
I think that's 18, Maxwell Sutter.
Yeah, you're right. So Maxwell Sutter getting some attention from the trainer as Bo Payton comes up ice. Payton with speed. He has Brown with him and Dylan Nash on that line as well.
Good D by Gogol. Just angled him out to the boards.
That was a strong hit by Nash, too, trying to get control of that puck. Regan plays it down for Nash. Nash trying to find Payton. That puck flipped a little bit too high. Puck loose in the corner. Nowlin jumping on it. Purchase there as well. Gogol plays it off the boards and out. Off the stick, so no icing. Brown sends it over here to Regan. Pass picked off by Stanley.
Good job, just get that deep.
Jordan out to play it. Jordan having a hard time getting back in his crease as Nash was in his way. Brown with the shot. That goes off of
And I like that play. Shoot it on while he's still trying to get set back in his crease. Maybe just a little off his spot.
Some urgency.
Blown tire there. That's at a bad time for Regan.
Regan took a spill into the corner. A chance for Valor. Shot it quickly there. Maddox Charles.
I'm surprised Charles didn't look for Fisher there.
Yeah.
He wheeled off the corner and just fired it in on Easton Sparks, but Fisher was just kind of sliding down the middle, and they had numbers. So Raiders benefit there.
Sometimes you don't know you have numbers, and you have a lot more time than you expect, right?
Right.
Maddox Charles to the dot, trying to win that faceoff back. And here comes a potential chance for Pierce Brenner with speed. Pearson alone, and picked off nicely defensively.
Back checking by Fisher.
Yes. Maddox Charles trying to come the other way. No icing.
Huh. He didn't, well, maybe he touched it.
I think he might have touched it just ever so slightly. Stanley trying to put that on net.
Dangerous there.
That's Charles sending it back to his defenseman O'Donnell. O'Donnell, big body, good puck protection. Fisher back to O'Donnell, who touches it back to Stanley. And now Charles turns it over to the Raiders, and they could have a chance if they look here. Hatcher chasing it down. O'Donnell is going to reverse it back to Stanley. Fisher trying to play that off the glass. Instead, it goes out of play. That glass is short over there. I think when I played, I probably sent the puck out of play many, many times as a defenseman. 6:01 left in the second period.
Valor, recognizing the circumstances, 4-0 lead, they're going to really pack into their structure, getting pucks deep and just defensively making sure they don't give up any odd man chances. So Raiders are going to have to push hard here.
Breakout for the Eagles. It comes to Baker, who had some speed for a second there. Now Bevan protecting the puck in the far corner as the Raiders get after it in their defensive zone. Under 6 minutes to go here in the second period. Lynch will get in there to help out. He comes free with the puck. Lynch, the assistant captain, up to Brennick, feeding it to Warrott in the middle, gets the zone. Farber out there with them. Brennick backhands it to the point for Lynch. Lynch with a seeing eye shot, but that goes wide.
Looking for a deflection, I think, from Farber there.
Yeah. Battling for it behind the net. Puck in the skates. Warrott and Brennick, but it comes free to Coffey. Coffey, near side for Sorensen. Sorensen with that speed, defended nicely by Lynch, and Easton Sparks will cover up. Some shenanigans in front. Zebra will step in.
Glad to see Lynch right there. He didn't even bother looking to see where the puck was going. He just squared up on Sorensen and just made sure that he held his ground. Sparks cleans it up, make sure he gets the cover.
Face-off one forward for the Raiders as Peyton finds Wiedemeyer. Wiedemeyer out with Peyton and Nash for this shift as Peyton has it. He tries to backhand it on, to loose puck in front. Here's a chance there's going to be a penalty on Valor,
That's got to go
I
against
think.
Valor.
Yeah.
Cross-checking Wiedemeyer right into the net.
Wiedemeyer looks no worse for the wear. Had
Great
a loose puck in
there.
front, yes.
Yeah, cross-check heading to the box. That's Jackson King. The Raiders will see their first power play opportunity here in the afternoon. 4:37 of the second.
If there's any time to start pouring it on for the Raiders, it's now.
Be now.
You need one here on the power
Now's
play.
as good a time as any.
Nash wins that face-off back to Peyton, and the Raiders will get set up. Puck comes out to Farber, but out of his reach, and here come the Eagles short-handed.
Two of their
Maddox
fastest
Charles.
players.
Yes, Charles and Sorensen, the two players that we mentioned before the game. Maddox Charles trying to bring that to his backhand in front of the net, but he was pushed down to the ice, and the Raiders looking for an opportunity there. That's offside, as Maddox Charles hadn't quite touched up yet. Raiders might have had a stretch pass
opportunity
chance,
there. That's a missed pass there. That opportunity with two men down deep in the zone. Charles had gone down, so he had to regain his footing. That was the opportunity, especially on the power play, create that odd man rush, and we turn it over in the neutral zone.
Nash to the dot again. Valor wins that face-off momentarily, but now the Raiders have possession, and they'll try to make something happen here. Regan checking his shoulder as he walks that puck into the corner. Now the Raiders will set up. It comes back to Wessel. Over to Peyton. Peyton was looking for a shot, but it wasn't there. He gets tripped up, and there's a couple of players that have fallen in that particular part of the ice.
Ice is slippery.
It is. Peyton trying to find Nash. A chance in front, backhand shot on. Comes back up top, Stelino quarterbacking now. Over to Nash, a nice pass over to Dylan Nash from Peyton. And now Nash has it.
42 seconds left, power play.
Nash with a shot. That goes off a body in front, but Raiders still have possession. Peyton back to Stelino. Stelino to Peyton with a shot. Stopped nicely by Jordan.
Beautiful save from Jordan. That was his best so far.
Also a great shot for the Raiders. Here come the Eagles. Dawson Charles over to the right side for Bevan, but that pass didn't connect. 17 seconds to go. And the penalty to Jackson King. Feet up for Brennick, hopped off his stick. Backus has it now, down to Brennick. Back to Backus. Stelino. Backus with a shot that goes wide. Rebound for Warrott. Stopped easily by Jordan. Penalty over, even strength hockey now. Warrott trying to dig the puck out from the boards. Wiedemeyer with him. It comes out to Brennick with room. He shoots. Rebound, Kornmesser. Stop there. I think that was actually stopped by Stanley. They can plays at both ends of the ice. Bodine going to flip that high all the way down. That should easily be icing.
Take the icing and get the change.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I think the Raiders have had 5-on-5 pressure where they forced them into a dump and change there. And so still need to get more pucks to the net, but some chances there. And you see some rebounds coming off and available in front. So Jordan has not, really shut things down. Pucks are coming off of his pads and available should we get the right bodies in the right position. But so far it's still goose egg on the board, down 4-0.
Coffey went over to Charles looking for his brother. Pass hopped over his stick. Boy, that would have been a chance if it connected.
Yeah, that breakout play where they go behind the net Offside forward breaks through the middle.
Face-off will go to the other side. Under 2 minutes to go in the second period here. Nash wins the face-off to Nowlin. That puck went off of Nash. He looked to take that on his leg. But he still has some speed in on the forecheck. Nash working hard out there. Comes to Fisher. Top line out there for both squads. Regan makes a move to the middle, dumps it in. Peyton going after it. Peyton able to get it to Nash. It's in his feet, back down to Peyton. Nash cutting to the middle with a shot that goes wide and left of the goal.
Charlie Brown in a good scoring spot there. Nash didn't see him.
Puck in the slot for Charles, sends it wide. Fisher has it. Drops it down for Dawson. Comes to Nash, he'll flip it off the glass and out. Smart play by Dylan Nash to try and relieve the Raiders for a second.
Inside the final minute, second period.
Hit by Brown as Gabe Fisher collects the puck behind the goal line. Dawson Charles took a spill, otherwise he may have been able to control that puck coming out. And I think because of that, it's going to be a penalty on the Raiders.
High sticking
call. High stick.
Looks like that's going to go against, is that against Cedar or is that against River?
I thought maybe it was Dawson Charles getting tripped down to the ice, but ref signaled high stick.
Cedar gets the high sticking
So
call here at 36 seconds of the second period, so the Raiders back on the PK.
And assuming Valor doesn't score, which is maybe not the greatest assumption, Raiders will take this penalty kill into the third period. Looks like the Eagles are going for their second unit here to start this one, given the top unit played basically the whole first power play. Deep has it on the left side, trying to feed it in front to Sutter, but a stop there by Sparks as he readjusts the net and the Raiders send it down for Valor to regroup. Deep circling back, sending it over to Stanley. Brennick on it. Brennick and Warrot, the penalty killing crew out there for the Raiders right now. And that'll do it for the second period. 4-0 Eagles.
One goal in that period, early in the period, as the Eagles kept it rolling. Raiders did a good job in some spots in that period, a little bit more offensive zone presence, a little bit more pressure, shots to the net, but still down 4-0 and going to the locker room. We'll have a minute 24 of penalty to kill on the way back out to the ice in the third. So we'll take a break and we'll see you guys shortly.
All right, on to the final stanza of this hockey game. Raiders down 5-4. See what they can make happen in the last 17 here.
This third period and this entire hockey broadcast brought to you by the Backus family. Thank you again for being our sponsor here, and thanks to Shaw for giving us the opportunity to get the Raiders broadcast out to you guys all at home. I know we haven't had a whole lot to celebrate in this game, but we've got a third period of hockey and an opportunity here to kill off a penalty to start the period and maybe use that for a little momentum to get a little bit of energy moving in the offensive direction. I thought there were a couple of bright spots there in this end of the second period. I thought we saw some good push from the Nash and Peyton line, getting some pressure and maybe something to build on and play a really strong third period here.
Well, maybe that sponsorship manifests what I think a Matthew Backus good clapper goal, but first the Raiders got to finish off the rest of this penalty kill as it comes out to Maddox Charles looking for Sorensen. Sorensen sends it down low Hops past the stick of Bodane over to Fisher. Back down low to Fisher. Lynch and Kornmesser, the 2 penalty-killing defensemen out there for the Raiders. Stellino was chasing after it.
Good job by
Brenner.
Stellino.
Here comes Stellino with the shot.
Outstanding work.
He falls into the boards. A good stop by Jordan. Great penalty-killing work by Alex Stellino.
You never have to ask if Alex Stellino's giving you an effort. That kid's got one speed only. He's full out every shift, and that's a beautiful steal, taking that one off of Maddox Charles and creating the scoring chance.
Well, you know, good defense creates good offense, and that's what we've been looking for the Raiders this whole time, as there's less than 30 seconds left to go in this penalty. A little bit of sticky ice right now, is that almost created a chance for Dylan Nash. Nash and Payton out there for the Raiders forwards. Backus and Wessel, the 2 defensemen. And all of a sudden, the Eagles having a little bit of a hard time getting their power play set up. Stretching for Fisher. Wessel steps on that. Sparks out to play it. Rings it around the boards. It comes to Nash. And Nash is going to send it all the way down, but the time expired on the penalty, so it is icing.
Oh, that's the first job done. They kill off that 124 of remaining penalty on the high stick to Cedar Regan and get Cedar out of the box and back on the ice where we really need him. Now the Raiders with 15:29 on the clock, obviously going to feel that offensive pressure where they need to drive hard.
Warraw digs in on that face-off, but the Eagles win it. Comes back to O'Donnell, who shot it. That may have gone off a body in front and wide. Stanley trying to stretch for Bevan, but Payton got a stick on that. Step up there by Warraw. Big hit on the near boards. Didn't quite see it. Brennick chips that off the boards and down the ice. O'Donnell pushing it up for Bevan. A big hit there by Warraw. As Baker was tripped down to the ice. I'm not sure what he tripped over, but no call. Jordan stops that puck off behind the net. Bevan with it on the near boards. It's a chance for Warraw with a shot, but Jordan sealed off that post nicely. Now Regan now from the penalty box. Shoots that, goes off a body in front. Another shot, and that goes wide. Ooh. Another shot from Warraw, trying to maybe bank that off the back of Jordan.
Farber was loose on the other side. If Warraw had sauced that through, Farber had an open net looking at him.
Here's a 2-on-1 for the Eagles. Bodane and Baker. Bodane with a shot, and that goes up high over the net.
Whistled that one looking for the corner.
Farber was looking, and he decided just to backhand it deep and get a change. Responsible play by Will Farber. Off the glass and out. Brenner with a quick stop and start with the puck, but loses the handle, and it comes to Gogol. He'll send it all the way down. Nowlin trying to find Kornmesser. Instead, it's rung around to Hatcher. Some physical play on the near boards as Nowlin sends it D2D. Kornmesser looking for Stellino in the middle. Step up there, and here comes Jimenez. Was trying to pass it over to his partner, but instead it's a turnover to the Raiders. They send it off of Valor sticking down the ice, so no icing. Comes out to Stellino with that nice shorthanded play last shift. Comes to Brenner, and now Hatcher was trying to get a stick lift on the Valor defenseman. Puck loose behind the Valor net as Jordan plays it over to, that's Deep, who sent it out, but now it's back deep in the Eagles zone. Coffey sent that off the glass, and now it's in Raiders territory. Wessel sends it up to Brown. Charlie Brown in the middle. A shot goes off the glove of Jordan a bit awkwardly.
Yeah, Jordan couldn't hold that one.
Now Payton has it behind the net. Sends it to the point. Lynch with a wobbly shot right of the net there. Under 12 minutes, 30 seconds
Good
to go
keep by
in
Wessel
the
there.
third period as the Raiders try to continue to establish possession in the offensive zone. It comes to Valor as Brown delivers a hit on the boards. Puck off the boards, deflected into the Raiders zone, or excuse me, Eagles zone by Brown. Nash in on the forecheck. Lynch following up. Coffee collects it for the Eagles. He'll turn back and take his time with it. Peyton pursuing as Regan tries to keep the puck in the zone. Nash hustling on this loose puck, but M gets there first. Kleinert puts that off of the skate.
Charlie Brown offside.
Brown, yes, his skate was still over the blue line, so offside play.
Well, one thing that Valor's more than happy to do, and they can accept a little bit more pressure in their defensive zone. They're trying to keep the Raiders out on the edges, get pucks cleared. They're not worried about getting into their offensive set so much as just being able to weather things in that defensive zone as the Raiders bring pressure.
That Warot line back out there for the Raiders. Loose puck for Regan, he dumps it deep. Farber with that hustle as O'Donnell's back with it. A big hit there by Warot on Dawson Charles. Brennick takes a fall there right at the blue line as O'Donnell has it. Pressured nicely by Warot and Brennick. Puck comes past the blue line. Kleinert sends it in. Slipped on the ice as he was doing so. Warot and Brennick in on the forecheck still. Farber still out there. Regan sends it down to Warot. Warot one touch to Farber. Farber unable to get a shot off. And here comes Maddox Charles the other way. He has Fisher with him. Maddox Charles cutting to the net, and a nice stop there by Easton Sparks as I think that was Regan made a dangerous but good defensive play.
I think he might have got away with one there. I thought that was a hook. I might have seen a hook there, but you know, the consistency with the refs today is they have not been calling much.
Put the whistles away a little bit, let them play. Back is over to Kornmesser, who was looking for Wiedenmeyer. Puck bounced off of his stick, and now the Eagles have it in their own zone. Sorensen turns it over to Brenner. Now up to the point, a shot stopped easily by Jordan. The rebound was chased after by Wiedenmeyer. And now here comes Bevan, saucing it up for Sorensen as he was brushed off by Backus. Stelino going after this one as the puck is now in the Eagles zone deep. Eagles have it, it's Hoyt Sorensen trying to fight for this one. Puck comes out to Backus with a little bit of time. He'll send it back down low as Wiedenmeyer has it. Wiedenmeyer was trying to find Peyton, but is turned over to the Raiders or to the Eagles instead. Bevan was trying to get that deep, and now the Raiders have a little bit of room. Backus had the red line, dumped it deep. Just over 9 minutes to go in the third period. Raiders with a strong forecheck here, trying to pour it on here in the last 9 minutes of this hockey game.
Yep, they're bringing some energy.
Bodane over to Sutter. Sutter puts that off the skate of Wessel, and behind the net, Backus shovels it out. Not quite out of the zone as Backus has it again. Chips it off the board. This one comes out of the zone, and O'Donnell will go D to D. Coffee sends it in, but now Brown has it at the blue line. Brown, red line, offensive blue line, has it set up in the zone, trying to move it around as it goes to Nash in that corner fighting for it with Stanley and Coffee. Back to the point for Wessel. Low shot, rebound. Another shot, and that was stopped nicely by Jordan.
Good
blocker
rebound.
Save.
That came nicely on a Charlie Brown stick. He got a good shot off.
In the slot shot, stopped there again by Jordan. Peyton with a chance this time.
Big offensive pressure from this line.
First line when they're needed most. Back to Wessel again, that low to high, working out for them. A deflection from Nash, but that bounced wide of the net. Now Lynch over to Wessel. Wessel looking for another deflection from Peyton in the slot. Lynch keeps it in again. Brown works it back to the point where Peyton is. Peyton with a move, trying to send that across to Wessel, I believe, but that was picked off by Sutter and sent all the way down, icing Eagles.
That was great offensive zone pressure. Really had the Eagles on their heels. That line was tired. You really wanted to see that pressure continue. Some good opportunities at the net, though, as they had a few good looks on Jordan, but he has been tall, standing tall today, and he's made the saves when he's needed to.
And on the face-off, the Raiders win it. Regan has it on the point. He sends it down to the corner farthest from him. Brennick digging in with Warrott and Farber out there. Warrott with a big hit there, drags his guy down. Good physical play by Alex Warrott. Captain comes up with it, trying to feed it for Brennick, but Eagles got there first and send it out. Eagles in some panic mode here now, defensively, as they're sending a lot of these pucks just right out of the zone or down for icing.
Yeah, Raiders just outworking the Eagles in the offensive zone right now, and creating their opportunities. That should be icing.
Yeah, there's another one.
And right back into the offensive zone. And this is what you needed from the drop. You know, this is where the Raiders should have been playing their game from the beginning of that first period, but they're getting to it here in the third. There's no quit. They're ignoring what's up on that scoreboard, and they've just been grinding in the offensive zone and doing the things they do best, which is challenge pucks, force turnovers, get pucks to the net.
Faceoff was won by the Eagles, but it comes back to Kornmesser. Kornmesser tried to put it on, but instead Maddox Charles sends it all the way down, and that will once again be icing. Easy to say this game is out of reach, but really the only people in control of that are the players on the ice, so we'll see.
6:29 left here in the third. Spending the majority of the time in the Valor zone. Nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. But Stelino is going to try and keep this pressure on, taking the draw.
Third or fourth offensive zone faceoff in a row for the Raiders. Stanley sends that all the way around, but Backus is there first. He tries to get a shot off. Didn't quite get everything on it.
Yeah, blocked by Fisher.
Backus sends that down to, I believe that's
Brenner, yeah.
Pierce Brenner. Hard to see the numbers sometimes. Eagles trying to flip this out of their zone, and here comes Fisher. Top line out there for the Eagles. A chance in front for Dawson Charles, a flying stick. That is the stick of Matthew Backus. Fisher down low. Dawson Charles in the slot. Picked up nicely there by Brenner. And here comes Hatcher. Hatcher sends it down. Brenner and Stelino out there with him. Harden on the forecheck. Stelino trying to shovel it out. Liam Lynch trying to get a stick on that, but here comes Stanley looking for his hat trick. Lynch with a nice hit on Stanley. Back to Baker. Baker sends it down for Dawson Charles. Sees his brother in the corner. Here's a chance and a nice save by Easton Sparks.
Save on Baker by Sparks. Baker, nice job playing it off the boards. A little give and go. He taps it down in the corner, and then he cuts immediately to the front of the net. And with the left-handed stick, really nice job opening up to get an opportunity on the forehand there.
Yep.
But great save by Easton. Keep it 4-0 here at 5:15.
Raiders penalty box doors open. Not sure.
Cross-check call coming. That's no go against Liam Lynch.
Not sure I saw that on the replay, but Raiders
maybe away from the play.
Yeah, unfortunately having their momentum killed here by a penalty. Face-off one up to Stanley. A good stick by Nash intercepting the pass from deep as Payton works in with speed. Stanley gets the puck first. And that'll be icing on the Eagles. So an offensive zone face-off on the penalty kill for the Raiders here.
And back to what you said originally back there in the second period, although I'd have to say there's not as much urgency on the part of Valor's power play with this big lead, but the penalty killing by the Raiders has been the bright spot, like you said. They've done a good job structurally making sure that they're keeping pucks out of those scoring areas in the middle and really anticipating taking pucks off and even a shorthanded chance for Stelino on the great individual effort. So penalty killing, a bright spot here for the Raiders for sure.
Let's see what it can do. Dawson Charles on the right side, keeping the puck to himself. Wessel trying to battle for it. Rega's going to get to this one first, tries to send it out, but kept in by Sorensen with a shot. That's stopped by the pad of Sparks. Another pass intercepted nicely by Nash as he tries to work into the Eagles zone. But with that speed from Nash, even when he doesn't have the puck, right?
Yeah.
Dylan Nash again. Almost had the puck there, but it was taken off him by a couple of Valor bodies. Warrat was looking for it there as Maddox Charles is dragged down to the ice. It could be a potential break for Brennick. Would have been his second of the game. Brennick.
Great job by the Raiders, and a man open in front, but couldn't get the puck across.
Good work here on this penalty kill by the Raiders as Sorensen using his speed. Kornmesser with a good play, still got a shot off Sorensen and a stop by Sparks.
And Kornmesser
probably
doing a good job here, not taking a holding call. See that
Yeah.
right arm?
It was close.
Yeah, it was close, but he's just hustling.
He made it work.
Tried to keep moving his feet, and he just harassed Sorensen enough, giving a chance for Sparks to make that save.
So the Eagles win the faceoff still on the power play. Gogol on the right side shoots, and Sparks stops the puck, and we'll get another faceoff.
18 seconds left in the penalty to Liam Lynch for cross-checking, and the Raiders looking to kill off their third consecutive penalty.
Gogol with it at the top. Over to King. Dropping it down for Jimenez. A few guys that we haven't really seen on the power play yet this game, so a few guys on Valor getting some different looks as the power play is now over. Hatcher's on the ice now, but puck comes out of the Raiders zone. Warrat out there. Gogol still out there as well as he's pushed off the puck by Stelino, but Deep sends it deep, and Kornmesser sends the puck off the boards. King sent that off the glass, giving one of the referees a haircut. Kornmesser sauces it up to Hatcher, but Coffey goes D to D, and Brenner giving chase on him. Brenner still with that motor as Sutter tries to break it out. Here's going to be a break for Bodine. Bodine with a pass and a good save there.
Good read by
Sparks.
Sparks, he read that well.
Bodine and Purchase.
Never sold the shot. And so Purchase gets shut down by Sparks.
Farber with a high deflected shot into the netting. Out of bounds.
And you know, when you're pressing, trying to create scoring chances, anything offensive, down 4-0, you're going to give up some odd man rushes the other way, and you need your netminder to be the one to bail you out back there, as the D-men need to push up, and that's been the theme here in the third period.
The scoreboard doesn't show it as the Raiders are going to go to the power play here, as Nash, I believe, got tripped. Nash or Peyton on the faceoff. That might have been Farber, actually.
Oh, that's going to be Joey Baker right off the faceoff, I guess. So he took that draw. So Baker finds his way onto the stat sheet. 2 minutes for tripping. And the Raiders get another power play chance here at 2:01 of the third.
See if they can break the shutout for
That's a
Jordan.
hand pass. And that'll come all the way down.
What I was going to say before is the scoreboard doesn't show it, but Sparks has had some nice saves in this game, right? He's been doing his job as the netminder, and like you said, Raiders need him here if they want to get some scoring chances. Hold down the fort. Face-off won by the Eagles, and the Eagles will retreat. Stanley sends it all the way down. Smart play by the Eagles. as the Raiders look to get their power play breakout going.
Peyton and Nash pushing the puck.
Nash sends it all the way down. Farber will go off after it. Kicked out to Nash. And now the Raiders will set it up. Wessel over to Nash with a shot. Saved by Baker. Sorry, not Baker. Jordan.
That was a nice little play as Wessel, who, you know, earlier on he'd been walking the middle and taking that shot from the high point area, but this time he comes across the point looking for the shot. Jordan kind of comes out high in the crease there to cut down that angle from up top, but he slips the pass off to Nash, who's kind of in that bumper position for a really good scoring chance there generated by the Raiders.
Eagles win the face-off and send it all the way down, courtesy of Gogol. Wessel back to get it with a minute left in the game as Deep shoves Wessel off the puck.
He gets the puck deep.
Bo Payton loses a handle of the puck, and Eagles send it down again. Sam Wessel will give it another go here over the Warrot. Warrot trying to stretch for Backus. Matthew Backus with a shot.
Nice shot.
That was a bit of an
Backus.
awkward one for Jordan. Good shot. Wiedemeyer out there with Brennick. Under 30 seconds to go. Wiedemeyer sending it back to Stelino at the point offside.
That came out.
Just slightly. So looking ahead, I think the next game the Raiders have is going to be on Monday.
Another afternoon
Heritage.
matinee against Heritage, right?
That one's against Heritage at Family Sports Center. So much of these home games actually do happen at Family Sports. This one was rescheduled, which is, I believe, why it is happening at the Ice Ranch today. The alternate home rink, if you will, for the Raiders.
20 seconds left here.
Brennick won that faceoff back to Stelino, and now Backus drops it back for Stelino again. Backus and Stelino were doing some work there, but once again, Sorensen gets the puck and some extracurricular activities going on between him and Warrot as Sorensen sent it down. That'll do it for the game. 4-0 Eagles.
Yeah, it was tough sledding here for the Raiders today, although they made a much better push there in the third period. But by then, the damage was already done as Valor raced out to that 3-0 lead in the first and tacked one more on and a 4-0 shutout for Jordan in the pipes there for Valor. And so we'll be seeing each other again here upcoming in the next couple of weeks.
That's right.
And looking forward to everybody being back on the ice on Monday. Hopefully get some bodies back for the Raiders. But, hey, great being on the call with you. Enjoy being with you, Liam. Thanks for doing such a great job for the Raiders today. And thanks to the Backus family again for sponsoring today's game. Valor, Christian Eagles, winners 4-0 today here at the Ice Ranch.
Thank you, everyone.